Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from our channel, Immortal News. Today we invite you to join us for a gentle and heartfelt remembrance. We'll be honoring the American stars we've recently lost, as well as beloved figures from around the world whose lives touched us in ways we may not even realize until they're gone. These are the stories of people who made us smile, inspired us, and left behind memories that continue to echo in our hearts. Before we begin, if you could take a moment to give this video a like, it would truly mean a lot. Your support helps us continue sharing these meaningful tributes and keeping their legacies alive. Thank you for being here with us. Now let's begin. Number 5. I never worried about fitting into any box, Raul Malo once said. I just wanted to make beautiful music. And beautiful music he made, sweeping, emotional, and defiant of any single label. Raul Malo passed away from cancer at the age of 60. He leaves behind a legacy that forever changed American roots music. The son of Cuban immigrants, Raul grew up in Miami, soaking in old records and Latin rhythms. In the late 80s, he co-founded the Mavericks, a band unlike any other, fusing country, rock and roll, Tex-Mex, and pop. Raul's unmistakable tenor became the heart of their sound. Their breakout album brought the Mavericks international acclaim, with hits still beloved by fans across generations. Together they earned a Grammy, multiple CMA and ACM awards, and continued evolving through the decades. Raul led those transformations with fearless vision, blending styles with ease and soul. His work as a solo artist showcased the same depth. Albums filled with torch songs, playful rhythms, and aching ballads. He was also a thoughtful collaborator, producing and writing for others, including Rick Trevino. In La Super 7, he helped pioneer the genre-crossing spirit now common in Americana. Raul's artistry was bold, but his spirit was gentle. He supported young artists, often offering advice or sharing a stage. He spoke proudly of his heritage and brought Latin voices into a space that had long overlooked them. In 2024, Raul shared the news that he was facing intestinal cancer. As his health declined, he continued to engage with fans and music, even when he could no longer tour. His bravery and grace during that time moved many. Singer-songwriter Rick Trevino offered this tribute. Raul painted with music. Whatever the style, it came from the same beautiful place in his heart. Raul Malo is survived by his family, his bandmates, and the countless fans who felt seen, heard, and lifted by his music. His catalog, both with the Mavericks and beyond, will remain a source of joy, hope, and connection. He broke down walls between genres. He filled the air with warmth, honesty, and rhythm. And for anyone who ever felt like they didn't quite fit the mold, his songs were a reminder that there's strength in being yourself. Tributes to Raul Malo. Number 4. Gordon had this fire, a fellow musician once said. He made big band music feel brand new, like hearing jazz for the first time again. Gordon Goodwin, the brilliant mind behind the Big Phat Band and one of the 21st century's most influential jazz voices, passed away in Los Angeles. He was 70. His passing followed a brief illness, and the jazz world now feels quieter without his energy. Raised in Southern California, Gordon fell in love with music early. At 13, he wrote his first composition. By college, he was already turning heads with his sharp arrangements and powerful playing. Disneyland became his first professional stage, just the beginning of a soaring career that would span over 4 decades. With a saxophone in hand, a keyboard beneath his fingers, and a conductor's baton at the ready, Gordon shaped an unmistakable sound. His Big Phat Band didn't just honor the swing era, it updated it. Fusing jazz with rock, funk, and pop, The group brought energy to concert halls and classrooms alike. His arrangement for The Incredits from Pixar's The Incredibles earned him one of his 4 Grammy Awards. In total, he received 25 Grammy nominations and 3 Daytime Emmys. But numbers never told his whole story. Whether scoring music for films like Con Air and Armageddon, or bringing characters like Pinky and the Brain to life with zany, intricate charts, Gordon always put the listener first. His music danced, drove, and delighted. Beyond Hollywood and the stage, he was a champion of young musicians. From junior highs to jazz festivals, Gordon gave generously of his time, leading clinics, answering questions, and inspiring dreams. His charts are played by thousands of school bands across the country. To many students, he was the spark that lit their passion for jazz. Despite all the acclaim, he remained a mentor, a friend, and a believer in the next generation. His charisma was real, and his standards were high, with good reason. He challenged you, one student shared, but he made you feel like you were part of something great. Gordon Goodwin is survived by his family and countless lives made richer by his music. His legacy will echo in every brass shout, every swinging groove, and every young player who rediscovers jazz through his charts. Tributes to Gordon Goodwin. Number 3. His words brought the moon closer to Earth, a colleague once said of John Noble Wilford. Few reporters ever carried such weight in their headlines. Fewer still wrote the line that captured humanity stepping onto another world. John Noble Wilford, renowned science journalist and beloved storyteller, passed away at the age of 92 after a quiet battle with prostate cancer. His life was a journey of curiosity, dedication, and the pursuit of truth. He's best remembered for his commanding front-page article in the New York Times on the Apollo 11 moon landing. Beneath the now iconic headline, "Men Walk on Moon," his storytelling transformed data into wonder and history into poetry. That moment defined a generation and his own distinguished career. Over more than 6 decades, Wilford chronicled science with unmatched precision and heart. From the moon to Mars, from the ancient bones of Homo naledi to the mysteries of Columbus, his reporting brought clarity to the complex and inspired millions to care about discovery. As the Times' lead science correspondent, he covered nearly every major NASA mission from the 1960s to the early 2000s. Whether writing about spacecraft or fossils, he made knowledge feel like adventure. He was awarded 2 Pulitzer Prizes, one for national reporting in 1984, and another as part of the team covering the Challenger disaster in 1987. But more than awards, it was his quiet authority and graceful prose that made him a pillar of science journalism. Beyond the newsroom, Wilford authored several acclaimed books such as The Mapmakers and The Riddle of the Dinosaur. His deep interest in geography and exploration echoed through his work, and his name is etched on the Flyers and Explorers globe, next to legends he once covered. Born in Kentucky and raised in Tennessee, Wilford carried the curiosity of a small-town boy all the way to the stars. Even after retirement, he kept writing, always chasing wonder, always giving readers a front seat to discovery. He is survived by his wife, Janet St. Amant, and by those whose lives he lit with curiosity. A colleague once called him a giant with a gentle voice. That voice will echo for generations. Tributes to John Noble Wilford. Number 2. Marge, Je veux pas aller à l'école. With her unmistakable voice and magnetic presence, Beatrice Picard became a household name across generations, not just through the screen, but through the heart. At 95, Beatrice passed away peacefully, closing a chapter on one of the longest and most influential careers in Quebec's entertainment history. From the early days of French-language television to unforgettable stage performances and animated classics, Beatrice brought warmth, wit, and depth to every role. Her portrayal of Marge Simpson in the Quebec French version of The Simpsons introduced her to a new generation, and they loved her just as much as the ones before. Her career began on radio and quickly expanded to pioneering work in television. Audiences came to know her in series like Symphorian, KMH, Les Boys, and District 31. She moved easily between comedy and drama, always with grace. She was more than a performer. She was a pillar of Quebec's artistic life. Over 70 years, Beatrice championed the rights of actors, mentored young talents, and remained a driving force in theater, film, and dubbing. Recognized with numerous honors, including being named a member of the Order of Canada, she was celebrated not only for her talent, but for her fierce dedication and generosity. She had this quiet strength, said one longtime colleague. You always felt lucky to share a stage or a studio with her. Her laughter backstage, her commanding voice, her love of storytelling, these are the things people will remember most. That, and the deep connection she built with audiences across decades. Beatrice kept her private life quietly beyond the spotlight, but her presence was felt everywhere else. In every corner of Quebec's creative world, her spirit endures. Though she is no longer with us, Beatrice's impact lives on through performances that still make people laugh, cry, and think, through the actors who looked up to her, through every word she spoke on stage or screen. She leaves behind a legacy that is woven into the story of Quebec itself. Tributes to Beatrice Picard. What's trending on the internet? News 1. You know, sometimes the stories that touch us most are the ones that also remind us to look out for each other. In British Columbia, health officials are sharing a heartfelt warning after a very sad situation involving wild mushrooms. 21 people became sick, and 1 adult has passed away after eating mushrooms that were picked in the wild and then served at local community events and gatherings. This all took place in the province's Fraser Health region, just outside Vancouver, and it has prompted a strong public advisory. Officials believe that some of the mushrooms looked like they could be safe to eat, but were actually poisonous. The people who became ill had eaten dishes that included these mushrooms at potlucks, celebrations, or shared meals, where food is made with love and generously offered to friends, family, and neighbors. Doctors say symptoms can be very serious, even life-threatening, and they are urging everyone not to eat wild mushrooms unless they come from a trusted, expert source. Even experienced foragers can be fooled, because dangerous mushrooms can closely resemble harmless ones. Health teams are now working with communities to share clear, gentle guidance so that traditions like foraging and home cooking can continue in safer ways. In honoring the person who was lost, local leaders are focusing on care and prevention, encouraging people to ask questions, buy mushrooms from reputable stores, and seek help right away if they ever feel unwell after eating something foraged. Community groups are also turning this painful moment into an opportunity to educate one another, especially children and older adults, about the importance of food safety. While this is a difficult story, it is also a reminder of how much we value one another. A simple meal shared with loved ones is one of life's sweetest joys, and taking a little extra care can help protect those we cherish. The individual who died will be remembered not only with sorrow, but also through renewed efforts to keep neighbors safe, to share accurate information, and to make sure that future gatherings are filled with comfort, connection, and peace of mind. News 2. Let's talk about a familiar face who's been on many of our TV screens and whose story right now is all about courage and hope. Medium and reality star Tyler Henry, who is just 28 years old. Tyler, known from his shows Hollywood Medium and Life After Death with Tyler Henry, has recently undergone his third brain surgery at the Mayo Clinic. Doctors discovered an abnormal tangle of blood vessels in his brain, a rare condition he's been living with for years. To prevent dangerous bleeding, his medical team performed a complex series of procedures. First, 6 embolization treatments to safely prepare the area, and then a carefully planned brain surgery to remove the remaining problem. Tyler shared that he was understandably anxious going in, but he put his faith in his doctors and leaned on the support of his family, including his mom, Teresa. After surgery, he spoke about feeling grateful simply to wake up, to be able to speak, and to know that the high-risk phase was finally behind him. He's now focusing on recovery, resting, and taking life one day at a time. Even while facing something so serious at such a young age, Tyler has kept an incredibly positive outlook. He's talked about how this experience has given him a new appreciation for each day and a deeper sense of empathy for anyone going through health challenges of their own. Many fans have reached out with prayers and good wishes, and he said that this wave of kindness has meant the world to him. For those who have watched Tyler bring comfort to families by sharing messages of love and reassurance, it's touching to see that same kindness come back to him now. His story is a reminder to listen to our bodies, to seek good medical care, and to cherish the people who stand by us during tough times. As Tyler continues to heal, he'll be remembered not just as a television personality, but as a young man facing a frightening diagnosis with grace, humor, and gratitude. However his career continues, this chapter of his life will stand as an inspiring example of resilience, faith in modern medicine, and the power of community support. News 3. Every once in a while, a Hollywood story comes along that feels less like show business and more like a neighbor you've known for years turning their life around in the best possible way. Former Mike and Molly star Billy Gardell, now 55 years old, is opening up about how he lost a stunning 170 pounds and completely transformed his health and his life. You might remember him as Officer Mike Biggs, the lovable everyman cop with a big heart and an even bigger appetite. Well, today, Billy looks and feels like a whole new person, and he's sharing how he got there with honesty, humor, and a lot of humility. Billy says his journey wasn't about suddenly wanting to be a leading man type. It started because he was genuinely worried about his health. At his heaviest, he was around 370 pounds and living with type 2 diabetes. He admits he used to joke about his size, but deep down, he knew things had to change if he wanted to be around for his family, especially his son. Over time, he made a series of real, practical changes: better food choices, a healthier relationship with eating, and a serious commitment to moving his body. He eventually decided, with his doctor's guidance, to have weight loss surgery, and he's very open about that decision. He doesn't call it a magic fix. Instead, he describes it as a tool that worked because he was finally ready to change his habits and mindset for good. Today, Billy weighs around 200 pounds, his diabetes is in remission, and his doctors are thrilled with his numbers. He talks about everyday victories that many of us can relate to: walking up a flight of stairs without getting winded, sleeping better at night, and feeling more comfortable in his own skin. And true to form, he still brings the humor, joking that he's the same guy, just a smaller chair. What really stands out is how grateful he is. He's thankful to his medical team, deeply appreciative of his wife and son for cheering him on, and touched by fans who say his journey inspires them to take better care of themselves too. He's careful to say that everyone's path is different, and there's no one right way to get healthy, but he hopes his story gives people hope that change is possible at any age. Billy Gardell may always be remembered for making us laugh on Mike and Molly and now on his newer projects, but this new chapter adds something even more powerful to his legacy. He's showing that it's never too late to listen to your body, make a fresh start, and choose a future filled with energy, joy, and time with the people you love. And that's how many fans will remember him, as the funny, big-hearted actor who proved that taking care of yourself can be one of the most inspiring roles you ever play. News 4. Every once in a while, a story comes along that reminds us just how strong the human spirit can be, and today's story is exactly that. It's about former Olympic swimmer Amy van Dyken, now 51 years old, whose name many of you may remember from her incredible performances back in the 1990s. Amy first captured America's heart at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, where she won an astonishing 6 gold medals over the course of her career. She was known for her big smile, her boundless energy, and her determination in the pool. But what truly defines Amy today isn't just what she did as an athlete, it's how she responded when life took a sudden, heartbreaking turn. In 2014, Amy was living in Arizona when she was involved in a serious ATV accident. The crash left her with a severe spinal cord injury and paralyzed from the waist down. In a single moment, her world changed completely. Many people might have given up or quietly stepped away from the spotlight, but Amy van Dyken is not that kind of person. From her hospital bed, Amy made a decision. She was going to fight. She worked tirelessly through rehabilitation, learning how to live as a wheelchair user, rebuilding her strength, and finding new ways to move, to exercise, and to stay active. She brought the same determination she once used to win gold medals into this new and much more personal challenge. With the love and support of her husband, her family, and her community, Amy began to build a brand new life. She started speaking publicly about her injury, sharing the hard parts, but always with humor, honesty, and hope. She became an advocate for people with disabilities, using her platform to shine a light on accessibility, spinal cord injury research, and the importance of never giving up on yourself. Over time, Amy also returned to one of the great loves of her life, the water. With adaptive equipment and a brave spirit, she made her way back into the pool, proving that her relationship with swimming didn't end with her accident. Instead, it evolved. She showed that even when life takes away something familiar, it can offer new, meaningful ways to connect with the things we love. Today, Amy van Dyken is celebrated not only as an Olympic champion, but as a symbol of resilience and courage. She continues to inspire others with her story, especially people facing injuries, illness, or major life changes. Her message is simple but powerful. Your toughest moments do not have to be the end of your story. They can be the beginning of a new chapter. For many Americans who remember cheering for her in Atlanta, it's deeply moving to see how she continues to win, just in a very different arena. Amy's gold medals will always be a part of her legacy, but her greatest achievement may be the way she has chosen to live after tragedy, with grace, grit, and a heart full of hope. As time goes on, Amy van Dyken will be remembered not just for how fast she swam, but for how bravely she rose, turning an unimaginable setback into a powerful reminder that we can all keep moving forward, no matter what life puts in our lane. News 5. Every so often a story comes along that reminds us how important it is to slow down and take care of ourselves, no matter how busy life gets. And that's exactly what's happening right now with singer and actor Justin Timberlake. Justin, now in his early 40s and known to many of us from his NSYNC days and hits like Cry Me a River and Can't Stop the Feeling, has been quietly dealing with Lyme disease. According to a source close to him, that diagnosis has inspired a major change in how he lives his life, especially while he's out on tour. Instead of pushing non-stop, Justin is now putting his health and well-being first. He's said to be getting more rest, watching what he eats, and keeping a closer eye on how his body feels from day to day. The goal is simple: be healthy enough to enjoy the music, the stage, and most importantly, time with his family. Living with Lyme disease can be challenging, but we're hearing that Justin is handling it thoughtfully and carefully, working with doctors and listening to his body. He's still performing, still connecting with fans, but with a gentler pace and a new appreciation for balance. For many people watching from home, especially those who have faced their own health concerns, his story is a powerful reminder that it is never selfish to put your health first, no matter who you are or what you've accomplished. Resting when you need to, going to the doctor and taking care of yourself is a sign of strength, not weakness. Justin Timberlake has spent decades entertaining the world, from boy band heartthrob to chart-topping solo artist, actor, and devoted dad. Now this new chapter shows a more vulnerable and very human side of him, one that many people can relate to. And as he continues to sing, perform, and share his talents, he'll also be remembered for this important message. Even in the spotlight, it is okay to slow down, listen to your body, and make your health a priority. I hope I made someone smile today. That makes it a good day. That was Jeri Wirtz's favorite reminder to her followers, and she made millions smile. Jeri Wirtz, who became a heartwarming voice on TikTok alongside her husband Mike, passed away peacefully at the age of 74 after a courageous 9-year battle with breast cancer. Known for their comforting and often funny videos, Jeri and Mike built a community that felt more like family. Whether she was talking about love, health, or simply making lunch, Jeri shared it all with open-hearted honesty. She made growing older feel beautiful. She made vulnerability feel brave. Jeri didn't start out trying to be a star, but with her quiet strength and her gentle humor, she became one anyway. People from all walks of life saw their own parents, grandparents, or even themselves in her. Her storytelling brought thousands of strangers comfort on hard days, and laughter on the good ones. Her cancer diagnosis in 2016 could have driven her offline. Instead, she leaned in with courage and openness, showing the world the real, unfiltered experience of fighting breast cancer. She educated, empowered, and supported. So many said they scheduled checkups because of her. Others just felt less alone. More than her online presence, Jeri was a devoted wife, mother, and grandmother. Her family, often featured in her videos, spoke of her warmth, quiet strength, and endless encouragement. At home, she was their anchor. In response to the news of her passing, social media filled with love from fans and fellow creators. Many shared stories of how Jeri's honesty helped them through personal struggles. Others posted clips of her famous phrases or her most candid, inspiring moments. She didn't try to be perfect. She just tried to be real. And that's what people loved, said one creator who collaborated with her. Jeri Wirtz gave a voice to older generations on a platform dominated by the young. But more than that, she reminded everyone that joy and strength can be found at any stage of life. She leaves behind a legacy of kindness, truth, and togetherness that will outlast every trending video. Tributes to Jeri Wirtz. You could trust Steve to light up the ring every night. He was called Mr. Electricity for a reason.